Welcome back to Whitebeard Adventures. Again, my name is Dan. I'm your host, and today I'm going to be finishing my Y splitter from my power connection. To save time, I've taken the liberty to finish some of these terminations, but I figured I'd save a few for you to see and see how this crimper works and how these connectors all go together. But I had all these materials, and I wanted to make a Y splitter for a project I'm working on. And this Y splitter through Harley's $29.99, $34.99, something like that. And I had all the material, and I'm like, you know what? I'll just make my own. So I've got these wires stripped already. In a previous video, I kind of explained these are just soldered together, 1 into 2. I made the solder connection. I put on some liquid electrical tape, put the heat shrink over it while it's still wet, shrunk the heat shrink to squeeze some of it out, but to fill all the voids with liquid electrical tape. Now that it's cured, this thing is watertight. I never have to worry about this leaking. The problem is, and the reason I did it that way is, you got this little gap between the 2 wires and the heat shrink, and that's where water can get in. But by having that area filled with liquid electrical tape that's not cured, I don't have to worry about that. So these are the crimpers for installing these wires on here. I do have one more to strip here, so I'll just strip back a little bit. And this is a good way for everybody to see how these Deustch type connectors work. So on this end here, I need a female socket. So if you look here, you'll see this green stripe. What this green stripe indicates is that's where the crimp's going to happen. So as long as your connector goes in and past that green stripe, you know you'll have a good crimp. So I'm just going to slide this on here like so. And all you do to make this crimp happen is you install it in this little hole right here, and you squeeze and crimp. And now that sucker's on there pretty good. So that's one pair made up. I've got this pair made up. I've got this pair made up, and I've got 2 more here, 2 more pins. So again, slide that on there. And both the pins and the sockets work with these crimpers. Slide it in there, crimp it nice and tight. Slide it in there and crimp it nice and tight. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use one of these pins just to pop this water seal out. So there's one water seal. Here's another water seal. Okay, so I've got 2 female sockets, 1 male socket. And so the female sockets are the ones going to have the male pins on them, like so. And the male socket's going to have the female connector in it. So here's my schematic that I'm basically working with because I already tested this on the bike. So I need this black wire to come out on the top of these. So here, top corner closest to me to top corner closest to me. So what I need to do is I need to get these past these little weather seals here. Like so. And like so. Now, it's a little tight getting these weather seals over this connector, but you can do it because it can expand. If it was inside the housing, you can't just jam the wire in there because it's got no place to expand because of the housing. So my next one is going to be red, top corner furthest away from me. So we're looking at here and here. I'm going to go ahead and slide these down a little bit. Okay. Next I'm looking at yellow, which is going to be bottom corner furthest away from me. So I'm going to slide this in here like so. And slide this one in here like so. Okay, and then last I got my orange, which is my accessory power. This goes in the corner closest to me on the bottom. And this one goes in the corner closest to me at the bottom. And then I say closest to me as I roll it back over. So, kind of don't like how that yellow is cutting through the middle of those two wires, so I'm going to pull it back out. And I'm going to reroute it around them. And I'm going to put it back in. Okay. So there we go. So how this is going to work. Yep, got my female there. So this is the top where the connector tab is. I just got to make sure that black goes in this hole, red in that hole. And then orange in this hole and yellow in this hole. So make sure they're all the way up in there. And it does look like they are all the way in there. Yeah, heard a little click there, locking it in place. So, all I have to do is put this, so they're like locked into the socket, but they're not permanently locked in the socket. And this little wedge goes in there and basically locks them all the way in the socket. Boom, you heard that snap? So now they're there to stay. They're not going anywhere. And I'm going to slide this little weather seal up in here. Like so. Use this little Allen key to get it all the way in there. Okay. So now I just got one more of those to do. This kind of helps to get these pins all about the same length, so it goes up in there. So, see if I can hit them all four on one shot. Let's see if we can hear the clicks. Oh, yep, there's the clicks. So I'm going to take this green spacer, again, drop it down in there. Like so. And, oh, boom, all the way. So I'm going to have to remake this one because I did not have my tang up top. This one's actually upside down. So I'm going to have to dig that one out later. We'll move on to the other end. I'll have to dig that one out and remake it. But on this end, it's a little differently. So I'm trying to make it according to this one here. So let me get my little weather seal out. And go ahead and get that on these wires here. So again, the black's going to be top. Red's going to be top. And orange is going to be bottom. And yellow is going to be bottom. Try and get these all to the same length here. These ones are a little trickier as long as you get them in the right hole. So tang on the top, which I didn't do on the last one correctly. I'm not perfect, but at least I caught it. So those two go on the bottom. This one goes on the top right, top left. And then these should slide in and kind of click in place. And you'll see these come up to the top. You'll see right there, 1, 2, 3, 4 connectors. And then this is your little wedge that locks them in place. And so the pin will actually go through this little connector here into the little socket. And then I'll slide this little weather seal up in here. And there we go. So now, if you were to plug a male into a female, you got a weather seal there, weather seal here, and a weather seal here. And one of the things I do recommend with this seal here is to put a little bit of dielectric grease. Actually works really good, because what will happen is this seal will roll. As you take it in and out, it'll roll. So let me see if I can get it all the way in and all the way out without it rolling. Nope. See, it tried rolling on me there. So I'll generally grease those up with dielectric grease. They slide in and out real nice. But other than that, I've got me a splitter now. An accessory power splitter. Again, one for my heated seats, one for my tour pack. And again, this is something Harley sells, but I think I just made it for like $2, $6 plus probably $4 in wire and heat shrink and liquid electric tapes at $10 versus $29.99 or $34.99. But anyhow, short of me flipping this one around and making it correct, this one's good to go. But if you like this kind of content, please like and subscribe. I will have more content like this coming down the road. Appreciate it. Thanks.